Welcome to Alert Tales, where we dive deep into the most gripping stories of real-life experiences. If you love tales that evoke emotion, spark conversation, and connect us all, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community for more captivating stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. My wedding sucked. Need to vent. Can't use my mane as my husband follows me. I have spoken to him at length about this though, but if you read the whole thing, you will see why this isn't necessarily helpful. TLDR. I was let down badly on my wedding day by my bridal party, friends, and husband. I also feel like I dissociated for almost the entire day and went to bed sad and alone hours before everyone else. I'm a few months on from the day now and still really struggling. Leading up to the wedding was very stressful. Anyone who has planned a wedding will know this. I was actually dreading a lot of the day, the formalities, etc., and mostly looking forward to after our first dance when everything was done, and I could just relax and enjoy myself. A few months before the wedding, my partner and I sat down and talked about how we saw the day and night going. I said that after all the stress of the planning, I just wanted to let loose, party hard, and deal with the aftermath the next day. He, however, is not a big drinker and suggested that we shouldn't drink too much so that we remember the day and night, can have a nice chat and debrief in bed when we go to bed, and wake up feeling refreshed, as we were heading to our honeymoon 2 days later, married Saturday, honeymoon Monday. I conceded that this was a good idea and agreed to not drink much, even though it wasn't really what I wanted. I recognized it was actually the best decision. This will be important later. Normal prep occurs. Have a great hens do. Wedding planner and photographer. Vendors are amazing. Everything as smooth as it could be. The morning started off okay. I barely slept. Think 4 a.m. to 5 a.m, so I was drained but excited and jittery. I went over to where me and the bridesmaids were getting ready at 6:30, ready for hair and makeup to start at 7. All of this was fine, but I was feeling so nervous and shaky that I was struggling to enjoy the company and got very quiet. My friends picked up on this and gave me appropriate space, got on with their own chats, but didn't really pick back up with me for a good part of the day. I spent a lot of the morning sitting in the room with my best friends but feeling totally alone. I genuinely think the massive rush of emotions and everything I was feeling short-circuited my nervous system, and I just started to dissociate. Regardless of this, everyone else was having a great time. Hair and makeup ran perfectly to schedule. The photographer arrived and was amazing from the get-go. Everyone got dressed, and we prepared for the first look. I put on my dress, but I just didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like a bride, I didn't feel excited, I didn't feel beautiful. I kept reminding myself that when I saw my husband, I would feel better, and I was really looking forward to this. My husband arrives for the first look. He cries, "I don't. I'm usually the super emotional one, but I just couldn't feel anything." I did, however, feel much more relaxed once we were together, and really enjoyed the hour from the first look to the end of the bridal party photos, when we split again to prepare for the ceremony. Sitting in the room waiting for the ceremony, it started to drizzle. We had known this might happen, and had a wet weather plan, which I assumed would be activated, but I had no way of knowing as I didn't have my phone on me the whole day. One of my bridesmaids commented on how calm I was, and was in awe of how I was just brushing off the small things that were going wrong. I didn't, and still don't, consider them wrong, just diversions from the plan. I kind of shrugged it off saying everything was out of my hands now, which was true, but I actually wasn't feeling calm. I was just feeling nothing. Walking down the aisle in the rain, I also felt nothing. Almost everyone else was crying. It was a small wedding, but they were also soaked as we had ended up outside. I felt so much guilt that everyone was sitting around drenched from the sudden downpour. We sped through the ceremony, even forgoing signing the marriage license for the time being to get everyone back inside faster. This is when everything really went downhill. As I said before, my husband and I had agreed not to drink much and also to stay by each other's sides the whole night. From the moment the cocktail hour started, I was chasing him everywhere. We would be in the middle of a conversation with someone, and he would just walk off and start talking to someone else. I spent the entire cocktail hour chasing him around and asking people if they knew where he was. It was incredibly stressful, and I started to get angry that he was being so nonchalant about it. Group photos were also a nightmare. I don't even want to get into it. The reception starts. All the speeches are beautiful. The food comes out and it looks amazing. But I'm still feeling numb and even starting to feel a bit nauseous by this point, and I can barely eat it. Throughout the dinner, my husband repeatedly got up and went and spoke to people, leaving me alone. Well, not fully, because I had all my bridesmaids beside me, but still, to eat. Dessert comes out, and same thing. We have a special dessert that is our thing. And I had to go to find him again, to tell him I had some for us at the head table, and to come sit and eat it with me. This is when I realise he's a fair bit more drunk than I had expected. At this point, I'm practically sober, as I had only had 2 mimosas in the morning and 1 glass of wine post-ceremony. Think 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. time frame. I go and sit back down and wait for him. 2, 5, 10 minutes pass, and he still hasn't come over. I go to find him again, and he said, "That was so good." I said, "What was?" He said, "The dessert." He had gotten his own slice and eaten it without me because he thought I had said I already had some, eaten, rather than had some, on the table waiting. At this point, I'm super upset, but think, fuck it, just the first dance left and then I can relax. First dance goes great. Despite my new husband's intoxication, this is around 8 p.m. I take my heels off and change into sneakers, go to the toilet and bustle my soaking, mud-stained, heavy-as-heck dress. I get back to the dance floor and everyone is gone. This is an exaggeration for dramatic effect, but the only people left in the room are work friends and our families. Both sides of the bridal party, our closest friends, and my husband are just gone. Bear in mind, I still don't have my phone on me. Cue the next 2 hours of family asking me where he is, chatting with remaining friends, lovely, and wondering where everyone has gone. A lot of us were staying at the venue, so I did a few loops with a friend to try and find people, but was so exhausted and soggy and sad that I gave up after 30 minutes and just went back to the venue. I didn't feel like dancing. I didn't want to chat anymore. I didn't know where anyone was. So when our families started to leave at 10:30, I just went to bed. My friend found my husband, and he was absolutely rinsed. I've only seen him that drunk once before, and it was a big reason why he stopped drinking as much, or often. I tried to talk to him, but it was no use, so I just sent him back to the party and had a shower and got into bed. The next day, I found out that everyone had left back to one of the rooms to do drugs. This is something my friend group does every so often, but I had expressly stated I didn't want this to happen at our wedding, and they had gone against that. There is so much more I could say, but I have been typing for 30 minutes already and just feel drained and sad. I worked so hard to save and plan for this wedding, We spent nearly $50,000 on it, and I enjoyed so little of it, and felt so let down by my husband and my friends that I am really struggling to think about it and talk about it. But it takes up so much of my mind. I don't know why I'm posting this, but I just need to let it all out, because I don't know who I can talk to about it. I love my husband, and he loves me. He is an amazing person, and the experience we had on our wedding day was so far from who he is as a person and how he shows up for me every single day. I just feel so let down and so caught off guard by the experience I had and the lack of emotion I felt that it has completely tarnished my thoughts of the day and my feelings towards myself and my relationships since. Well done if you made it through. I appreciate you taking the time to read.